Uno, and we're live.
Dos.
Good morning, fellas.
Good morning. I was actually looking way forward to this.
I was too.
I was early. I called you, and then you didn't answer at first when I was calling you, and I was like, oh man, maybe he's asleep. Maybe I should go in there and get everything started. And then you were letting your dogs out, and I was like,
oh no, I was up. I got up at 5:45 this morning. I'm grinding.
yeah, it's
no
exciting.
stop. What do they say in the gym?
I don't know what they say. I don't fucking talk to anybody.
No stop, or you can't stop, won't stop. Grind every day.
Stop until you get enough.
That's right.
Jackson.
That is a good reference. I guess you could use that in the gym. The guys that grind so hard in the gym.
One time I talk to people when I'm making a complete ass of myself.
That's right.
So this is what happened. My cousin wanted to do a documentary. Wanted to film a little thing because he knows we like to lift weights. So he wanted to get a little film action going on in the gym, and of course it was nerve-wracking. Everybody's looking at me. Everyone's looking at us, but mainly me because he had the camera in my face. Like, intensity was on level 10, right? I'm gonna have to watch my elbows.
Yeah, you swing wild, Francine.
But I was already on edge because I knew it was ridiculous and nerve-wracking. But a fella on the slide was walking by and took a picture, right? And I was like, all right, well, I caught that. I seen that happen. And then he went and did his thing, and I was like, whatever. I was gonna, if he looked at us, I was gonna let him know that I seen it, but he didn't. But he walked back by again and took another one. So me, being a stupid ass, grabbed my phone while he was working out on his thing, and I went up right behind him, and I'm talking about like right behind him. Clicked, took a picture.
Right of his ass.
I'm talking about, dude, it was ridiculous. And then he came over and was like, yo, I'm interested. My buddy wants to film too, da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, all right, I'm a dickhole. You know what I mean? So other than that, I just don't talk to anybody in the gym.
Yeah.
You tried just being a polite person.
The worst part about
I'll give nods every once in a while. People aren't. You'll get my nod, but I normally don't. Try not to have a big old conversation with people in the gym. I got a few people that I'll wave at every once in a while that I know from the club. But besides that, I
You ain't at the club, you ain't talking, huh?
Nah, and at the club, you ain't talking. Not over here.
The worst part about that ordeal was that the guy came over, and the very first thing he said was, I didn't know if you were trying to be a jackass to me. I just wanted to know about why you guys were filming and
yeah, he was super nice. He's like, man, I didn't mean to offend you. I was like, God, dude, man, why do I gotta react?
And that was your homie.
Yeah, we're cool now.
Yeah, you guys.
We
you guys
were
with the
cool.
white bottoms in the gym.
Yeah, that's right. We stick with the white shoes. We have a similar look, me and this fella. He's actually covered in tattoos, and it's cool. His tattoos end with like almost a solid line to his hands. They end. And right where his ankles go, his leg tattoos end. He's got a pretty sick style, but it's beachy. It's like, he likes to rock swimming trunks. He likes to rock white shoes on the bottom, and that's me. And that's why I feel like me and this fella had such a mutual respect for each other. We would always nod at each other every once in a while, but we never talked. We never spoken. And it literally wasn't mutual respect until I pulled that fucking stunt. But at least but we talked about it though, and a few times since then we talked about it. He's asked about the video if it was ever done, and I was like, I think it is.
I wonder if he watched this.
Do
you remember when we were like assholes? Well, he was an asshole. You want to watch him talk and not be an asshole? He actually brings you up. He's apologizing. Right. He's apologizing on that.
Dude, check out our show. He speaks on how much he knows he's a dick. Watch him. Humiliate himself now. But I mean, it's all right though. Like most of the time, if I'm not with my buddies, I normally don't talk. Not that I'm like
put the headphones on.
Put the headphones on and I kind of get into a groove. When I'm working up on myself, it's a real groove.
Yeah,
it's a real groove.
Well, it's almost the same thing with like non-verbal communication. I cannot stand when you go to the gym and you have people that stare at you consistently. You ever had that guy that you lock eyes with on multiple occasions? Now, if it's females, on the other hand, that's okay. You guys are more than welcome to look, and we're more than welcome to look at you. I'm giving us that.
I fuck me, it's fine. I fuck me.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I know I'm attractive, so you can look at me, or I just have a big head. I haven't found that out yet.
I like it.
Yeah. But
everybody's gotta have their drawbacks.
Yeah, you gotta know yourself. You gotta know yourself. Especially when you're in a public place like that, you gotta know like your boundaries, what type of person you are. Because everybody else knows when you walk out in public, you can see that person. You can tell the type of people they are almost by looking at them. At least, and you might be wrong about their personality. They may be a bad person, but you can definitely tell when somebody walks in the room. If you're a guy and you see another guy walk in the room, almost immediately you will get an impression douchebag or not a douchebag, and typically that's pretty easy to tell. I don't know about you, but it's pretty easy for me to tell. At least I'm a people watcher though. I want.
Oh, dude, me and you both. Like they're like one of the guys I like to listen to. He says, "I study people. I can tell what kind of gum you're chewing." And I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool, because I felt that same way too. I like to watch people. There's people in the room, or mainly, guys every once in a while. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you could definitely tell instantly who they are. But that's not just with us, dude. Who was that judge? It might have been Judge Maryland. It's the People's Court. I think it was her who said that.
I don't watch that Trailer Park Trash.
Oh, dude, it's on every day at the shop. OG, the dude behind the counter, he has to watch it, dude. Yeah. It's Judge Grimes. First of all, they got this show before. It's like called Hot Bench, where there's 3 judges and they just sit around and then they're trying to get the case settled, and then they go to the back and it's completely scripted and they're like, well, what do you think? And it's just like, oh my God, I hate that show. But then Judge Grimes comes up, that's an alright show. People's Court comes up, that's an alright show. Then you got Judge Judy, that comes up. It's an alright show.
I think you become a different person when you go to the shop.
Then at 5 o'clock you got Jeopardy. And I always push them to watch Jeopardy, but they never want to. Most of the time they're watching the news by then.
You know the guy that we used to work for that his wife always thought he was cheating on him, so they took him to Maury.
Yeah.
And
Did y'all ever see that?
I never seen it. He claimed that they went. We never saw the episode. He claimed he was going to have a viewing party, but I was never invited. He also didn't really like me towards the end of the employment there. But
he said he cried, and he said he won. He said he passed a lot of.
Oh yeah, he did.
Passed a lot of tests, and he said he cried. But I've watched that man cry in his kitchen.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh man, was he drunk?
Did he have a rough life?
I don't know. He had a rough one. He had a rough wife. I don't know about life, but he had a rough wife.
Rough
that's
wife,
for sure.
you are not wrong.
Well, rough wife equals rough life.
Oh,
that's right. That's what they say.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
She was never happy, so neither was he.
Then it's weird because when you see him in public, she does seem like a happy person. It's like they talk and they're. But then that one time I seen his face, and it was like,
ooh. Not only that, but she's an attractive female.
I'd smash.
She's.
Yeah, would you not smash? I'd smash.
I'd smash. She's an attractive female. Cheers. She's an attractive female, and I definitely think when you see them in public, you get the vibe of whatever. He must be a funny guy. He must have a good personality because he's in a relationship with this girl who's very beautiful. But then behind closed doors, you find out that she's kind of like. Is there any bad movie characters that we can make a reference to that's a beautiful person but a fucking demon?
I was gonna say that chick from 101 Dalmatians, but she's not pretty.
I was gonna say Shallow Hal comes to mind. That chick in the freaking car that's all ugly as sin, but in real life, because you know how he sees wrong.
Is that what we want?
Oh,
An ugly chick with a pretty personality, or do we want a pretty chick with a horrible personality?
I would rather be alone than either of those two.
Women, if you're watching, please comment. Is there such thing as balanced women out there? Because I don't know. Sometimes you find them, you get ones that are close, but a lot of times if you're a shallow person,
you're bad.
Well, no, like I'm talking about if the guy is a shallow person and he finds that balance and he's like, okay, well I can settle for this, and then you find that one flaw and you woo, I thought you were balanced. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're not. You're intense.
That episode of How I Met Your Mother when everyone has baggage. Yeah. You find out the baggage and it's like, all right, that's a deal breaker. We can't do that.
It's rough. I think. I wonder how many friends or how many people that you have seen out in public in a lifetime, like up into 24 years. How many people you've seen that you thought, oh man, what a lucky dude, and they go home and she's a hooligan.
No, dude. I think I've had a few people.
It's a rascallion.
Well, our buddy who helped me, partake in the wheels. I'm not even gonna get into the subject. We're gonna go to a new subject. I'm not gonna say anything.
We're not gonna get into who.
I'm not gonna mention names. I'm not gonna mention stories, and I'm not gonna mention anything. I shouldn't have even taken that road because I know I'm not gonna say it into the mic, onto the camera.
Oof.
Oof.
That's a rough one.
But yeah, there are definitely. I've had, I've seen people who have had situations that I would dive into if I had the chance. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. You know what he's saying?
I understand.
Well, hell, I almost smashed you when I seen you in the beach that one day. I thought it was you and it was the girl.
Yeah.
Here's what happened.
Okay,
All
let
right.
me tell my story.
Definitely.
let me tell my story. If we're getting into this one, I'm telling my story. We got to the point where we were finished with. Was it because we were fucking sick of where we were working or something was going on and this spontaneous trip came up?
We needed to change the pace. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, okay, so let's start it like that. We needed to change of pace, and we decided we were going to contact his buddy that lived in Alabama. You know who you are. And we said, let's take a trip to the beach. And he had some other friends. He used to live in Alabama, so we were going to go see them. We drive down there, we get there, and one of the friends had bailed, but the other one didn't. So we went and we crashed, we caught up on our sleep, we got ready, and we headed to PCB. That's where we went, PCB, yeah. Right. So we headed to PCB.
About an hour and a half from where he lives.
Yeah, and we get down there, and immediately all of us are talking about how wild we're going to get tonight. We're so happy about the beach, so we run, we jump in the water, everything's great.
It was great.
It was the next night. Was it the next night?
The first night.
It was that first night.
It was that very first night we got there? Okay.
We were only there for that night and then the day after.
Holy cow. Okay, so it was the first night. I'm wild, boys.
Wow.
So we get down there. That first night, we decide we're going to go to Club La Vila. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, but it's the MTV club that's in PCB. We get down there. It's kind of dead, actually. It's not really a lot going on. It almost seems like there's more bouncers there than there are actually people there having fun. And then right about the time where we're like, okay, this was a shitty idea, let's just go back and we'll get drunk on the beach, whatever, we'll figure out something to do. In comes a bachelorette party. And every female in this group was wearing a cocktail dress. You know when like girls who they've got nice asses, the bottom of their cheeks kind of hang out.
Oh my god.
It's the best. Are we oh my god because I said that, or are we oh my god because you like that?
Because that's the best, dude.
It is the best.
That's the best, man. Oh my god.
So in comes this group,
stories,
and they immediately you can tell they have a reputation. A couple people there already know them. A couple of the bartenders there already know them, and they're there to get wild. This is the bachelorette party. They're getting drunk. So anyway, we're playing pool, and they come over, and I don't know if I was feeling myself or if I was getting hyped up by the friend that we were with. But he was like, dude, you gotta go over there and you gotta say something. You gotta go over there and get their attention. I walk over there. Before I can get anything out of my mouth, she yells in my face, no! And I'm like, all right, well, I guess I don't have game like I thought I did, so I'm going to turn around and walk away before this gets ugly. Right. So I head back to the pool table, and I sit down, and I'm like, let me just take a shot. Let me go back to playing pool. Let me regroup and try to hold my pride together before I run out of here crying. And right as we're about, you know what, they're not worth it, let's get out of here. Right about that time, I feel a hand on my shoulder. And I'm like, who the fuck is this? I'm thinking a guy's like about to start some trouble, so I immediately get defensive and I turn around, and it's the same blonde-haired girl that I tried to talk to that yelled in my face to get away from her.
Is there a balance?
Yeah. Is there a balance?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, what's the personality there?
Right.
But so then she rubs my side and she sits in my lap and she's like, I don't know how you did it, but you got me over here. I think you got yourself over here because I definitely didn't do anything.
You silver-tongued devil.
Yeah.
How did you do it?
My
pool with the boys.
The secrets. So she sits on my lap. A couple of other friends are talking. They're going about their business. It comes time to leave.
Is that what happened? Because she was sitting on your lap and we got kicked out. I got kicked out, didn't y'all?
We got kicked. This is way later.
Yeah. Well,
was it later?
Oh yeah, because it was right about the time I had spent about $200 getting good and drunk.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right after that, got real nice and set up.
A lot of liquor, so
gotta leave.
So towards the end of the night, we did end up getting kicked out. I was gonna skip that portion because I didn't want to tell why we got kicked out. But let's just say me and this lady were getting a little handsy, and the people that were working there.
Yeah, I didn't know you spoke sound.
Yeah, did not approve. Whoa. So anyway, we get kicked out, and I'm like, hey, I might have got kicked out. You go have your fun, but when you get ready to leave, call me for a ride. And she's like, you don't have to do that. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. I want to do this. I want to give you a ride. And she's like, oh, okay. So she got the hint immediately. And we go back, and in my head, I'm like, okay, she played me, whatever. She was just looking for attention. She's probably going to be too drunk when we get done anyway. And then about the time that I'm thinking they're going to be leaving, I get a text from that number. and it's like, hey, this is her friend. She wants you to come pick her up. Stay in contact with me. If you don't respond to me before you go to sleep and when you wake up, I'm calling the police because, you know, she was trying to be protective of her friend, which is understandable. But anyway, we show up back at the club. We pick her up, and me and the rest of them, we go back to the beach, and we're like, let's go chill on the beach for a little bit. And that's when things got dicey. Things got real hairy while we were out there on the beach.
Was it hairy or was it shady?
It was just
Alright.
So anyway, it gets real dicey, little sketchy out there on the beach, and one thing led to another, and we ended up back in the hotel room. So now that the long part is out of the way, we were getting it on back there in the hotel, and I was looking good, she was looking good.
Alright, now
and
this is where I take over.
He
this
was
is where I
asleep.
take over.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, here's what happened. I drove the night before. We had it was a Friday night. That was a Saturday night. We drove down there on a Friday night, correct? Yes. So we drove down to Alabama on a Friday night. I made a detour in Alabama to go see one of my friends, and that took forever, and it didn't even work. So by the time I got to almost where my buddy lived, we were about 45 minutes away. I couldn't take it no more. The sun was almost coming up. It was late, and so I pulled into a parking lot, and then we crashed for, I don't know, I'd say like an hour or two. I don't know how long really. We woke up at like 7 something, and then we went back and we made the trip because it wasn't even an hour away, and to Dustin's house, our buddy. And then we got to Dustin's. Whatever. We got to Dustin's. Who gives a shit? We got to Dustin's house, and then we stayed up the rest of the day. We were skating. Then we decided to go to PCB. We went down there. We partied. We turned up. I passed out probably like
Early.
4 or 5 in the afternoon. It was early, right? How early was it?
It was probably like 6 or 7 at the
Yeah,
earliest.
it was starting to get dark.
Was it getting dark? I know that I was just done for from the night before. I was absolutely done for, so I passed out. Now, when I wake up, all right, I wake up and I hear a noise, and I look over, and I know, you know, that I kind of tell that there's someone getting it on over there in the other bed. We had 2 beds, and it's a funny joke that I like to tell Spencer. This is where it goes, because when I got up to go take a leak or whatever I did,
You didn't even get up out of the bed, you just rolled over.
well, when I did, because I took a piss.
Did you?
I did go to the bathroom, or I did something. I don't know.
It's situational awareness, man.
Something was blocking my vision.
All I know was when I walked by, she was on top, and she was looking good, and it was funny because when I brought it up to the boys, I was like, I thought it was Spencer. I was like, damn, Spencer's looking good right now. Like, I'm about to jump in on that. But it was her ass, because she was on top of him, so.
That's right.
So it was pretty funny. So that was what happened when I woke up, and then I instantly called the boys. I called you and Dustin, and I was like, yo, what are y'all doing? And then we went and got Waffle House. That's what we did. I don't know if you remember that.
So I remember now that you say that, but no, I had not. Every time I would tell
I didn't even remember
the story.
that.
Yeah, the story of that night. I did not remember that. I do now that you say that. But
Well,
yeah,
I was to his
gone.
point. That was what it was. I woke up because I guess I heard noise, right?
You definitely heard noise.
Heard noise, right? And I think I got hit with a condom. I'm not sure, but the whole thing was I got up, and I seen her on top of him, and I was like.
I tell you what, up until that point, we were doing a lot of legs in the gym, so the benefit of my ass you might have seen.
Could have been.
It could have been.
Were you riding her, or was she riding you?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Whoever was on top was about to get it.
Like I said, things got wild, so I could have ended up on top. I don't know. Ladies, what is that? What is that when you're really flexible? There's a word for it. It's like it starts with a D. What's that word?
Durable?
No. Dexterity?
Yeah.
Yeah, dexterity.
Anyway, I wouldn't say that's flexibility, but yes, that's like being agile.
Yeah. So, ladies.
You want a durable girl?
Yeah.
Because I mean.
Because they gotta be able
Don't
to take
shoot
a
me
hit.
down, goddammit. If you want a durable girl because you don't want them to be all fragile. I've had the fragile ones, and that's just no fun. I mean, it's just not.
I mean, we're just gonna go ahead and say it. We'll put it out there. A lot of people who may watch this, like grandparents and whatnot, may be disappointed, but nope, men don't like pillow princesses.
No.
That's not something that we're into. If you're gonna get everything all hot and heavy, and you're gonna be heavy in the foreplay, you better be heavy when shit gets real.
Yeah.
You know, when the bombs start dropping, you better be ready to.
Yeah, because
pick
you
up
can
your
act
M16
tough.
and fight back.
You can act tough before the fight, but when the warrior comes out, don't get scared.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta keep it up.
I want to quote something right now, but I can't find anything to fit.
It's all right. Now, I've had, you know, my situations where there was someone who was up there on my bucket list, I would say. You know, a friend that I got, you know, close with. But when it come down to, you know, to fight, it wasn't a fight.
Come down to fight night, it was one hitter quitter.
One hitter quitter.
That definitely makes you sound bad.
No.
I'm not
Put it in and done.
I've had those nights too. I'm not gonna say I haven't. You know what I'm saying? No. But
you ever seen wild animals have sex?
wild animals?
You ever seen deer have sex?
No. I've seen the one where that deer mounts that one. Because look, they took that deer. This deer mounts up this one, and I guess it takes him a while to find the hole. I don't know.
Hit the brick.
But yeah, but
Where's the brick?
he's
Hit the
sitting
brick.
there.
We're rolling.
I think I hit the brick. But he's sitting there.
Jonas tapping the table over here. There's no break over there.
No, I know. I'm trying to get my wheel out of.
Well, he as soon as he finally goes and gets it, and he just makes that initial go, like they show another clip of a deer just flying through the front window of a bus. Have you seen that? It's like a camera from inside the bus, and he slams it, and then she goes flying through the bus. It's the funniest thing ever.
Dude, they all do that, and I think because elk do it too. I think like all like large hoofed animals that run around with horns and antlers. I don't know the difference between maybe deer or antelope in Africa. Maybe they act different than American deer and antelope. I'm not sure, but I can tell you one thing: any deer that has they set in, they get set up, and they get their balance nice and right, and they have their knees slightly bent for explosion. And I swear they just
power angle.
They set in there. Just they get the feel, they get the feel. You know what I mean? It's almost like a warm summer day in there.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, and they explode. Yeah, they all do it though.
Yeah.
They're all hooved animals are like one hump chumps. You don't ever see them. You ever seen cows? They just lay up there and then
Well, horses get it because in Jackass they had to like literally milk that horse.
Yeah, but our horses are a little different.
They're hooved animals,
but they don't have horns. Maybe it's the horns.
Unicorns have horns.
Maybe it's the horns. So maybe we're getting down to something here. Maybe when you have horns like that and you have something to protect yourself and you look big and you look scary and you got a lot of weight, maybe your downside is you're a one-hump chump.
So what you're saying is like the antelopes and the elk and the moose and all of them, they just one pump, they're done.
Yeah. And maybe that's a metaphor to humans, ladies.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah, maybe that's a metaphor. The bigger the dude, just steer clear. He might
Get the fat, lazy ones.
He might be aesthetically pleasing, but he probably doesn't last very long.
Could be.
As you see, we're all here. We're medium-sized guys, so keep your eyes peeled.
We'll see.
We'll
see how that goes.
That's right. Jonah's laughing now. We got him awake. I think the coffee's taking effect. You want to join us in conversation?
I just like letting y'all talk.
Jordan, do you have a football team?
Huh?
I'm just thinking about
that
it.
I like?
Yeah.
Not
The
one
Broncos.
that I care about.
He likes the Broncos.
Wow.
He likes the Broncos. You want to know why he likes the Broncos?
Watch you get this wrong.
No, I'm not going to get it
Because they're
wrong.
hooved animals without horns, so they last
That's
longer.
right.
How do you know?
I knew it. I was just about to say the same
That's
thing.
it.
I'm pretty sure it's the colors. You like the colors in the horse head.
No, when I'd never been into sports, no one in my family was either. So like when I would go over to AJ's house to play Madden, that was just the team I picked.
That was a cool
The
team.
Broncos?
Yeah,
Damn it!
They had a decent like rating on there, and yeah, I like the color. So
I think that was back when.
that was like when I was like in 6th grade.
I was gonna say because I think you remember when Blitz came out. You remember that game? Did
Oh,
you guys ever
dude.
play that?
I used
Blitz,
to play that
where you
a lot
could
with my
tackle
friends.
each other and break fucking bones.
But I'll tell you what, dude, not only that, dude, you could just keep tackling.
Yeah.
You could tackle them, and then after the whistle, you could just drop elbows and drop kicks and just.
You
just
didn't even
keep
have to
going.
keep hitting that same character. You could tackle that person, get up and run, and the next closest character tackle.
Bro, it's
Hit the
almost
ref.
it's almost worth us getting one of those games. What's the one where you put the game into the top? Which
This
one's
is a
that one?
Nintendo
It's a
64.
Nintendo
It's
64.
the
Well, there's a
64
bunch of
Super
other
Nintendo.
ones, yeah.
That's the one that has
Sega.
the controllers that have the 3 prongs in it. The one
64.
that one.
64.
We need to get one of those because me and Vinny, we used to do it all the time, dude. We used to play that game. I'm talking about like that might be why I don't play video games nowadays because I would get so pissed that I would like. You know, they see those videos where the people are like throwing the controllers at the TV and stuff like that. Dude, I was young. We were like 10.
Don't look at me like that's me that does that.
Keep it to yourself.
But, dude, that game,
Had to
me and
replace
Vinny grew up
many
playing that
controller.
game, dude. All the time. That one and, what's that game? Tony Hawk.
Let me tell you a story real quick. Do you remember the video game Sly Raccoonus?
Sly Cooper,
Sly Cooper, the Themius Raccoonus.
Yes, I do.
Exactly.
Me and my dad used to play that game.
I tell you what, I got a good story. For you guys. Watch the cord. If you roll too far away, you'll.
I'm not gonna roll that.
You'll pull my mic right out from
Right
my
there,
mouth.
boys.
There we go. Again, if you were watching yesterday, this is our kitchen, and if Jonah, you hit this table one more time, I'm throwing you out the window. This man is slowly scooting the table over, out of view. Blade's gonna be in view. You're not. We all good, boys?
Good.
Having to straddle.
Listen here, it's not my
Sly
fault
Cooper.
you're as big as you are, okay?
Sly Cooper, that's a good game that takes me back. We'll
hold
keep
on.
talking about Sly Cooper,
Hold on,
but
yeah.
afterwards we're going to bring up Jack and Daxter.
Yeah, that's another
Yes.
story I got for you because I lost. So when I was younger, relationships with parents, weren't the best. I was a wild child. They were assholes. That's another story
It's a
for
good
another
mix.
time. Yeah, it's a good mix. Yeah. Well, just keep the secrets. Keep this under the table. So that game was probably one of my favorite games, and my favorite level was the one where you had to go and you had to fight the bulldog.
Okay.
The boss fight where you had to fight through all the dogs, and the head dude was like a bulldog. He was like a bulldog or a Rottweiler. I can't remember.
It wasn't a pit bull.
I tell you that because they didn't know how cool they were back then. But anyway, I got to the point. I got to a level. I was young when I was playing that game, and I got to a level I just couldn't beat. And I had a real bad temper as a child, as a young child, especially when it came to things that I could not control. And video games, once you start losing, you can't control. You're either not good enough because you can't control them, or something goes haywire, you lose your temper, all things go downhill. Well, I got to a level that I couldn't beat, and I was steadily just getting more angry and more angry and more angry at this game. And I got to the point where even my grandparents, at the time I was at my grandparents' house, and my grandparents even came down and like, hey buddy, you need a break? You want to take a break? You sound like you're about to, bust a blood vessel. You're gonna, blow a fuse down here. And I was like, stay away from me! I was down in my zone. I felt like I had like stuff growing off me. I had my cape on and like my little goblet face, and
That's
everything was
Turned into Butters.
Yeah.
He goes into the closet. And what's his character?
Captain Chaos or whatever.
Is that what
Professor
it is?
Chaos? Something
Professor
like that.
Chaos.
I was gonna say more like Smeagol. I was like, that was my thing.
Wearing a cape.
My precious.
Super Smeagol.
I see.
Smeagol had the little cloak on at one point in the movies. Have you ever watched Lord of the Rings?
No, I don't.
And what are you talking
I've
about?
never seen
Actually,
it.
I have seen a lot of parts of it though.
I think he puts a cloak on, or maybe the Hobbit puts a cloak on. But anyway, back to my story.
Mm-hmm.
So, shit's getting wild. I'm getting angry, and it gets to the point where I start talking. When I get angry, I will start talking to the PS2. Is what I had at the time was PS2. And
Well, it hears you.
Yeah, and I grabbed a
It
controller.
makes things better too.
I was grabbing the controller, and I was like, "Listen here, you stupid motherfucker." I was, probably 8 years old, and I'm going ham on this game.
Go Happy Gilmore on
Yeah.
right in the fucking face.
Yeah, and I did. I would get down on it, and I would take my controller, and I was like, "You're gonna let me pass this fucking level, or I'm gonna put this controller through your fucking ass." You understand me?
Right.
And I would just bang on it, and bang on it, and bang on it, and eventually, I was like, "All right, I need to calm down. I need to get my focus back, and I'm gonna try this level one more time." And I think when I tried that one more time, I was so frustrated that it was the worst try that I had given the entire night. And it set me off just like that. So immediately, I pulled the cords out. I was like, oh yeah, you want to play this fucking game? You want to cheat? You want to fucking cheat? Because I know I'm good at this game, and there's no other reason besides the fact that you're cheating why I would be losing this level. So I unplugged the fucking cords. I pull them out of the wall. I wrap them up, tie them in a knot, and throw them in the yard. And I run back inside. My grandfather was like, what is going on? Are you all right? And I was like, I'm sick of this shit. This is like white people problem, so if you don't know.
Right.
So I run back
The real
inside.
stuff.
I grab my controller, and I wrap the cord around my hand gladiator style so I don't lose the controller. So the cord's like wrapped around my hand, and I've got it like a weapon. And I just start beating the piss out of this PS2. I mean, just beating the shit out of it until I cracked the top of it. And then I picked it up, and I ran out into the yard. And I was like, who's going to pass the level now? And I threw it off the deck. I was 8 years old, people.
I think you handled it well.
And I think that was when my parents and people in my family realized they were like, either something's going to happen and he's going to find something he's good at and he's going to become great, or he's going to prison.
One of the two.
One of the two. There's no in between.
You can't have all that character
Yeah.
and just sit it around.
You can't. Yeah, you
That's
can't.
a good way to put it. That's character.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't just have all that energy pent up. And you made a good point. You can't have it all pinned up and just sit it and go, you stay there, because it's not going to happen. I will never be able to sit in a cubicle and have a job like that, because someone will die.
Someone will die. From as long as I know, someone will die.
The computer is going to get it, or my boss is going to get it. Either one.
You're going to kill a coworker for looking at you wrong.
Somebody get it. You got that one guy that's nosy, so he's peeking over the cubicle. He's doing that thing from Home Improvement, that guy. Fucking, hey, Alan.
Wilson, I think.
Wilson. He's peeking. You're just having a bad day. Next thing you know, you pull up, what is it, the movie Wanted? Is that the movie where he beats the shit out of the dude for sleeping with his girl?
He doesn't even beat the shit out of him. Dude, that was awesome, because he like talks shit.
He hits him with a keyboard.
He does. He doesn't beat just one crack to the face.
Yeah, with a keyboard. I'm talking, you know how dangerous it would be? You just take your little office scissors out, you clip the cord off of it so you don't get any other, nothing's going to stop it from flying, and you just grab it and you just catch somebody somewhere in this line right here around their brow or something like that. I think you're putting them out of work.
Probably.
And they might end up getting workers' comp. Wouldn't that be a bitch? You get workers' comp because you got fucked up at the job place by another person?
Well, I mean,
that took not like on accident. I don't mean like, oh, the dude was working and he dropped a ladder and it hit me. I mean, I looked at a guy and he hit me in the face with a keyboard. I need workers' comp. What happened to you at work? How'd you get hurt at work? How'd you break your orbital at work? I was looking at Bill. Bill had, who would fucking, this is the perfect time to bring it up. You know who would make a shitty fucking coworker? People named Randy. Randy and Dwayne. Dwayne would probably be the worst one. Howard. That's another bad name.
You're getting into all the old school names. Charlie.
Yeah, but Dwayne is a new name. The Rock is the only decent person in the world named Dwayne. And I think it goes back to the same thing you were talking about when you have all this pent up energy.
I think Lil Wayne's name is Dwayne.
Is it?
Dwayne Carter.
I thought it was Wayne Carter.
Notice none of these people go by Dwayne.
Yeah, because they know better.
They don't. It's either The Rock or
The Rock Johnson.
Yeah.
Well, some people call him Dwayne. But like I said, it's like you were saying with the pent-up energy. Yep. He was either going to put that into a mediocre job and be a dirtbag, or he was going to be The Rock. That was his only option.
He shined.
He did. He chose a good path.
He's a fucking winner.
Yeah. We were having a conversation one time. We were talking about the shittiest people that we've ever met.
Mm-hmm.
And most of those shitty people, like you just hear names. Sometimes you hear names and you're like, wow, what a douchebag. That guy's got to be a douchebag. And Dwayne was one of the people we were talking about. And I was talking about having a podcast and calling out people named Dwayne and people named Howard. Just shitty fucking names that require you to be shitty fucking people.
Mm-hmm.
And then we would have an opportunity to have like a call service. So somebody calls in, hey,
put it live.
Hey, I'm Dwayne. I'm not a bad guy. Well, listen here, Dwayne. First of all, you calling in to defend yourself lets me know right now that you're a shitty fucking person. You're the type of person that puts their fucking milk in the cereal bowl before the cereal.
Yeah,
you're a fucking back-assward person.
I like it.
Right there.
They shit after they get out of the shower.
That's right. They don't wipe.
No.
Or they wipe with their towel and let somebody else use it. Can you? Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, bro.
Go ahead and use my towel. It's clean. I only used it once. But
classic.
It's off topic from what we're talking about right now, but I want to give you a chance to plug yourself again for the old bull riding.
It's exciting, dude. I think about it every night and I think about it every morning. I'm gonna ride the bull. That's all there is. And you know why? I got this misled belief that I'm gonna do amazing because it was probably like I think it was like last year or like the year before. But you know how they bring Riverfest?
Yep.
Not what's the one where it's all downtown?
That's
Spires.
Rivers and Spires.
Rivers and Spires, yeah. It wasn't that one. It was one that's just down the river walk. That's
Riverfest.
Riverfest. They had a mechanical bull there, and he was like, "All right, you're wide open," and it never knocked me off. Like you can ask for it, and there was no video footage, but I lasted the entire time, and it was my first time being on one of those mechanical bulls ever. And
I'm upset that that's your reasoning for being able to do the live bull. That bothers me.
And I'll tell you what, and then I even got more confidence because when they brought up the rodeo to me, I instantly started planning in my head how intense it was going to be and how big these things were and how crazy it was going to be, and I was nervous. And then I watched the rodeo, and I was like, those bulls are big, but they're not like big. They're not like moose big. I was expecting something huge. Like I was expecting.
Well, they have to be big enough to hurt you, but small enough to be agile.
and those things can jump, dude. They can jump and move around quickly. But like when I started watching the rodeos, like that's why I said it's all misled. Like I have a ridiculous confidence about this for some reason, and I don't know why.
Yeah, my buddy watched the podcast yesterday, and he was like, "Please record this, man."
Oh, dude, it's gonna be recorded all over the place. I think, dude, I'm not kidding. I think I have like family coming in.
Dude.
Like Nathan's gonna ride the bull. All right, we gotta come in and we gotta watch it. Like it's gonna be. I'm excited.
I'm gonna record it. We're putting clips on Instagram. So if you're not able to go see him in Hopkinsville at the fairgrounds, what time is it?
No, I don't know. I still get
It'll probably be at night. I would assume it's gonna be at night. But if you don't get a chance to go down and see him, I'm going to record it, and I'm either going to record him getting hurt or I'm going to record you in success.
I'll tell you what, dude. If there's a way that I can first person a GoPro, like if I can put a GoPro on the helmet or the hat or whatever it is I'm going to wear, like I'm doing it. I'm going to put a first person GoPro, and that would be a great shot. And then, of course, I'm going to have everyone
right as the back of the skull of the bull
just saying that
and just smashes the GoPro into your forehead.
Dude, it's just scary. I gotta make sure I set my
Cut
feet.
that out.
Lily.
This is our house again, so we have
Stop that.
dogs running around and stuff going on besides us. One day I will have a studio, and one day we won't have to worry about other distractions. But for now, we made a table and we're doing it in the kitchen.
I'm surprised Josh didn't come out and ask for rent.
Don't provoke him.
Or water.
Yeah. Don't provoke him.
Good talk, bro. Good talk.
Don't provoke him. He came out earlier. He got his monster and like prepped himself for this long 2 hours of endurance he's gonna have to go through in his room.
At least he's got a bathroom in there.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, here's the baby. There she is.
This is my baby. This is Lily.
Welcome to the podcast, Lily.
That's right.
Lick my mic one more time, bitch.
Alright, get down.
Well, it's too late now. You let her get up there, you're gonna have to make her stay. Now she's attached. Her feelings are hurt. Okay, I love you, Dad.
She's the sweetest.
You gotta stay professional about this. But anyways,
Straight faced as it's just.
I am nervous about it a little bit, the rodeo, but it's exciting because like when we did the tower, like I felt like I kind of like. I'll get to the point. Well, it's like we were talking about the other day. Like I'm not an adrenaline junkie, but I love to get wild every once in a while. Yeah. Like every day, I'm not sitting around thinking, man, I gotta go do something crazy. That's not it. I'm perfectly fine going to fucking do whatever I do, going to the gym, hanging out.
What in the ass do you think you're doing, Lily? When you're here trying to be businessman and be personalities, and you're over here trying to climb my lap.
Okay.
All right.
But like, as long as I can get some excitement, like every once in a while, once or twice a year, I think it'd be good for me. Like we climbed that tower.
Yeah.
I climbed a water tower once as well, and these are like spaced out between like a year or so. Like every once in a while, I'm like, all right, I gotta do something a little wild. And if I do make it the whole 8 seconds, it's $1,000.
$1,000 in his pocket. I would be contributing to this conversation, but somebody decided they wanted to make out with
She's the sweetest.
The sweetest baby ever.
That's right. I tell you what, that was a good time. Climbing up the tower.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know or are friends that probably already know, because we talked about it a lot when we did it, but we found this old off some family's property. There was this old tower, and I would say it was 200 plus. It had to be 200 plus.
It was up north.
Yeah, family property way up north. Nobody knows who they are. They're out in the middle of nowhere. They're not registered on the census.
Damn.
But anyway, so we went up there. It was 200 plus. I'm not sure how high it is because like we were trying to measure like distance with iPhones, and that's just a shit show to begin with. But it was 200 plus. I wouldn't be surprised if it was close to 300. We were climbing for a minute. I mean, there was a moment where we were climbing, and we asked each other, "How long do you think we've been climbing?" And we looked down, and like everything that was 3 times our size, we looked down, and it's just tiny. It looked like little pieces of like paper on the ground.
It was high.
Yeah, it was pretty high. When you get up there, and when you get up there at the top, you can kind of hear like bolts squeaking and like the iron moving, and then excuse me, And then you get to the top and the wind is blowing. Wasn't it like about to start raining when we got up there?
Yeah, well, it definitely in the it was early morning and we could see the rain coming down, like in the distance, the lines coming down. And dude, the thing that was nuts about it was the whole thing up top. You could feel it just like swing ever so slightly, the whole top of it.
Yeah, it was.
We're not gonna put hammocks up in it, because isn't that why we bought the hammocks?
Well, we were talking. We were getting wild.
We said something about doing something crazy like that, but then when you fell out of the tree in your hammock because
fell out of the tree
because it wasn't fucking built right. Not because he didn't tie it right, because it wasn't built right. The knots are pre-made. His knots weren't tied. So we were up in a tree hanging in these hammocks, and I'm not talking about
the whole night. I kept saying, I'm going to be the one to fall out of this tree.
I'm talking about a full-grown tree. I'm like a huge oak tree, and we're up
at least like 20 feet.
Yeah, we're up. At least all of us are 20 plus feet off the ground, and he ties his over the fork in the tree.
I did that after. Because the original one was just so wide, and I would have just...
Well, you never got into that original one, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so you're like, maybe I should put this in. It was in like the best decision you could have ever made, because his hammock did separate. It fell because the knots weren't tied right, and then he landed, the tree caught him. Like, if he would have been over the tree. Yeah, if he would have been over the ground, like out above, over the ground, dude, it would have been nuts.
Weren't you like right next to me? You were in the tree and I was above you because I was in mine. You were like climbing up still.
Yeah, no, I was laying in my hammock. So I was the guy that I was like, you know what? I want to be wild. I want to go out on this branch. So I tied mine between two branches, and nothing was under me but ground. Probably
that's how I originally had mine.
22, 25 feet, out on the ground, over the ground. And then I'm facing this way, and I'm looking down at my phone, and then all of a sudden I hear like a thud. And I look over, and now Jonah's even with me. He was above me, and now he's laying right next to me, not in his hammock. And I look over, and there's just this like red tassel just like hanging out of the tree. And I'm like, "What the fuck happened?" He's like, "I don't know, my shit broke."
No.
And
I was like, "Woo!"
Yeah, I look over, and I'm like, "Oh, your shit broke. Like that means ours are gonna tear." And he was like, "No, it didn't tear. I don't know what happened." And then we kind of, we investigate the situation, and what we found is that the knots that are supposed to be tied in the package, and you open up, you're not supposed to mess with them, they weren't even fucking tied. So whoever made these fucking things, I think they're McMillan, something like that, but fuck you people, you make shitty hammocks.
Coleman?
Because it could have been bad.
No, Coleman's Walmart. We got them from Academy. Fuck you.
So anything, if you do ever get those hammocks that are pre-tied, if anything, look up a video. Yeah, don't put them high. And I would invest in looking in a video to how to retie them correctly, because if you would have trusted that name, dude, it would have been a wrap.
And make sure the knots are tied. Even if you get one and you're like, okay, this is all I need, and you're only going to be a few feet off the ground, just make sure the top. You don't want to wake up in the morning with a sore ass because you fell out of wherever you're at.
Or just buy an E-Now. It's a better brand.
And then they fell, and then you recommend a brand, and then someone dies. How would you feel?
I wouldn't care.
You never.
I like it. I like it.
I would care. I would care about you if you bought a brand that he recommended and you died. Just know that.
The whole thing was, we kind of talked about putting the hammocks up there, but just climbing it was enough. We got pictures on our Instagram.
Yeah.
A bit of a video of us sitting on top of it, and there is a full video.
Y'all said y'all were planning on it, and because that's why we got those hammocks, and that's why we were like, dude, let's go. We were just thinking of something stupid to do. And we're like, dude, let's just sleep in a tree.
Yeah.
You know how bad it would have been for us.
If we put it up there?
Because what you got to understand is like the chances that I could have grabbed the one that Jonah grabbed. I could have grabbed that one, and we could have been like, fuck yeah, he might have not been with us. And we're like, fuck, let's go put it in the tower, and let's sleep in the tower. And then we get up in there, my knot is the one that's not tied now, and I fall, and now I'm almost 300 feet in the air, and it wouldn't even be like that. It would ping pong, ping pong, ping for 200 plus feet, just all the way to the ground.
Because I knocked out after the fourth hit, probably.
Or I'm the fucking lucky asshole that I just I hit everything but my head, so I'm just pain all the way down until you fuck. It would probably stop me. If I felt like that, I'd probably land on a bar.
Just mangled.
Just fucked up.
Leg
turned around backwards, facing the opposite direction. My head's looking at you, but my dick's facing the ground.
That's right.
That would be a bad
I've always said, if something can happen, it will happen.
To you.
To me.
I like it. Yeah, it was.
That's why I kept saying that.
So I think this rodeo is going to be my once yearly dose of pretty intense adrenaline. And then I'll be all right for
I don't like
a year
that.
or so.
I don't like that. because I didn't know about this bull riding thing. So I'm not signed up for it, so I don't get to do it with you. And it's a yearly thing now for almost 3 years, going on 3 years, that whatever the adrenaline rush is that we find, I do it with you.
Yeah, but so you could catch up. We can go climb the water tower that I climbed.
First of all,
I did that one.
First of all, I wonder, do you have to be licensed to be a bullfighter?
A bullfighter.
Yeah, dude, they make good money. They make good money.
Dude, I would do it. I'm.
Are you talking the ones with like the?
I'm not talking about the Spaniards.
Yeah, what? I've never heard of bullfighting.
We talked about it yesterday.
The clowns, dude. The people in
Those
the
are
ring
bullfighters.
Oh, they call them bullfighters?
Yeah, you show them respect.
I call them clowns.
Man, I bet you wouldn't say it to their face.
They just beat the shit, red hair and all, just beat the shit out.
They get hit by bulls, dude. They can take any punch you can throw.
Dude, they are intense, and he was talking about how much money they actually make. So I mean, that's guaranteed money.
I wonder if they go through training. I think they go through training.
It's clown college or something like that.
Dude, I would wear cleats.
Rodeo, what's his name? Steve-O wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And he went to the school. I don't remember what it was. I'm pretty sure they called it clown college.
I do recall what you're talking about, but dude, I mean, like, you think about it, and like, as long as you. Obviously, there's going to be some fear involved whenever adrenaline and everything else is going. Fear, you just can't let fear take over when you're in a situation like that.
Right.
But obviously, people can do it. And if you're fast and you got confidence and you're fucking smart about it, it shouldn't be an issue.
No.
Make sure you're not talking into the bar.
You got to be quick, though. You got to be like, what do we see? Do we got lights over there?
Yeah, you're good.
You got to be, you got to be agile. There's no doubt about it. What they'll do is they'll run, and then right when the bull's about to come, they'll just cut, and then the bull will still continue in that direction.
Yeah, because they can't cut.
Well, you know what they said? Fucking Tim Kennedy was on Joe Rogan's podcast. Shout out to fucking Joe Rogan. But they said that they learn. So if you're like a guy and you fall into that, you're a habitual type of person, and let's say your right side is your strong side. So you're running and you juke right. The next time you juke right, he's going right too. They're smart enough to fucking
just lay down
and just fucking boom. They got you, dude. You know how shitty you would feel.
They trample too, don't they? Like
they will, but that's why the rest of them are there, because some bull riders will get knocked off, and the very first thing they do is they almost put their forehead on the ground and they just run across the ground trying to hit you, and if they miss, they fucking jump back and forth trying to stomp on you, almost like moose do when they walk over you. But yeah, that guy was saying that when and they tell you that, like, when you're training to be a bullfighter or a rodeo clown or whatever you want to call it, when you're training to do that, they'll tell you, don't do the same thing twice. Because the bulls are smart enough that if you're running and you're fast and you get confident, you get cocky, and you juke them one way, and then you're fucking doing it again, and you go back the other way, he already knows what you're about to do because you did it once. So he fucking, that's what I was saying. You know, what a shitty person you would feel like. You juke a bull and you fucking slow fucking bovine piece of shit. And then you go to do it again and he locks eyes with you and you're like, oh, you shit your pants right in the morning as you get tossed into the air. You just feel fucking warm, fucking spicy soup running down your leg.
Oh, God, man.
Just dookie on yourself.
Have you seen the one where that dude tried to run out of I guess he tried to jump or whatever, out of the...
Botched it.
No, he tried to climb the barriers or whatever the fuck. No, his ass penetrated. The horn went clean up his ass. You never seen that?
Was that overseas? Because I know over here they fucking they lopped the tops of them off.
Well, I seen that. I remember watching that with my mom and my dad in Florida. So the video's old, but I'm pretty sure that it's happened multiple times.
You know what's shitty? You ever, like, we watch rodeos over here and you're like, oh man, some bull riders get fucked up. Dude, bullfighters, they kill those bulls. When I was a little kid, I thought they just tired them out. Like, they ole, 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 until the bull's like, fuck you, I can't do this anymore. And they lay down and they, the human wins. They kill them. They fucking stab swords into them and shit. They kill them, yeah.
I wouldn't watch some shit like that. My favorite thing to do, like those bull run watches, when people are like fucking with those bulls, throwing shit at them. When that bull finally catches somebody and kills them, I'm like, yes, thank you, kill more of them. Like,
talk about running with the bulls?
Because they're throwing shit at these bulls. They're like throwing bottles at them and fucking like throwing, like they fuck with these bulls like hardcore.
You know what's shitty? Don't they wear in the running with the bulls? I feel like I've seen a video where they wear all white with a red bandana around their neck.
I don't think it's all white. Well, you could be right, but my thought process, or what I'm remembering, I think it's like a white and red striped shirt.
I don't know.
Pants. But I thought that red shit was a myth. I thought they're not really attracted to red.
Yeah. Look it up real quick. Look it up on your phone. See if it's a myth.
Let's see.
Because I'm curious now because
if it's not, the thing I've always heard is that red is just an aggressive color, so they take it as like a...
I was going to say, probably because it stands out like brighter than mine. I bet any super bright color would catch their eye.
Yeah,
does the color red really make bulls angry? Let's see what it says. Explanation. Spanish matadors began using a small red cape or muleta in bullfighting around the 1700s. God damn. Around the 1700s. Ever since, it seems people have perpetuated the color-charged myth that red makes bulls go wild. An 1,800-pound bull can hook a grown man with his horns and toss him 30 feet into the air. That sucks.
Yeah.
So the Mythbusters set out to find a way to test this myth carefully. They decided to put makeshift matadors into an arena, each holding a flag a different color, and wait to see what the angry bull would do when it comes to see red. The red, blue, and white flags got equal half-hearted attacks when they were motionless. So, I guess they say that it was a myth.
So stand still if you're gonna get hit.
Let me see.
Oh, no.
Turns out the color red is the one causing bulls to attack.
Don't do that. Yeah, because if you get thrown off of it and then you stop and you're standing still, it's game over, bro.
God.
Or if you get knocked out, that's what I'm saying. If that bull's coming up as I'm coming down and our heads collapse, my face hits the back of his head and I get knocked out.
It bothers me that's what's scaring you.
Bro, that's what's scaring me.
What scares me for you is the thought of you falling on the ground and before you can at all get up from the ground, like you hit and then a foot just right on your face.
Timing.
That's what scares me.
Timing would
It's a real possibility and it's scary, but like my thought process is if I have any sort of fighting chance to survive,
it's on the ground.
Well, I have to be awake
on your feet.
I have to be like if I am cautious and I'm awake and I'm thinking, I can roll or run or try. I'd rather get knocked off the bull.
Think about this.
Not knocked out. If he knocks me out and I'm hitting the ground limping, it's done.
Yeah, I can see that. That makes sense.
You know what I'm saying?
Stay confident. You want to know why?
Why?
Humans have been struck by lightning and they lived. You can do this.
Yeah.
I told you about that story my uncle told me, right? There was a dude in Montana that, like, he just knew growing up. I think he used to help him on his ranch, so he was a lot older than my uncle. And I think my uncle, when he moved away, got a new job, he came back to visit, and he saw him, and he was like, you're still out there working or something like that? And he was like, I'm going to die on my horse. And then, like, a week or two later, he got struck by lightning on horseback.
Damn, son.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the way to go.
God was like, you earned this.
You want to go on your horse? I'll take you and your horse. What a fucked up piece of shit. His horse is dead now.
Horse.
Fucking horse got fucked up because you wanted to talk shit. I'll die working. I'll die on my horseback. Yeah, well, what a fucking, you know that horse is mad. What if the horse had cognitive thought and he fucking in his head, and you piece of shit, if I get struck by lightning, I swear to God, wham, you're done.
That used to be one of my fears when I was like younger. Like lightning and shit like that, because I just didn't know how unpredictable. Like I had heard the horror stories about people getting struck by lightning and shit. So like, when there was a thunderstorm, I would be like, well, fuck this. But then I started realizing that it's not that common. Like unless you're like holding a rod, you know what I'm saying?
Or
like,
standing in a field with
nothing. Field, yeah. If there's like, you know.
In all honesty, what he just said is what scares me the most out of lightning strikes. Surviving it, that would suck.
Dude, your thought process blows my mind. If anything traumatic happens to my man Jonah here, he doesn't want to survive it.
I live my life with 1 foot out the door. Just if you're gonna push, just push me all the way out.
Probably has the happiest, like easiest going life out of all three of us, but he's the one that's just ready to go for whatever reason. We look at it and we're like, no, I have a life to live. I've got a reason to live. He's like, I got good parents. I got a happy life. Dude, this is bullshit.
Well, not only
get me out of here,
dude. I mean, it'd be a hell of a story. Whether it be a rock falling on us from the caves or whatever we were talking about.
That is what we were talking about. It's like, help me kill me.
That's one of our topics, dude. The rocks falling on us, the bulls, whatever it may be, lightning strike. If you got shot by somebody, like the whole thing is, if you survive.
Funny enough, if I get shot, that's one that I'm like, I hope I survive that because I'm coming back for whoever put one in me.
Yeah,
well, that's another reason to want it. One being a great story, you got shot, like that's awesome. Not many people can say that. And also, and survive. And also, revenge. So sweet.
Revenge, yeah. You better pull a 50 Cent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And hope he has bad aim, because I know 50 Cent, like the
Bro,
thing.
he got shot in the fucking face.
The whole thing was that.
Did he really?
In his face, bro.
Yeah.
Was it like in, I was going to
In this area, I don't think he got shot.
Yeah,
in the
because I was
brain.
going to say, otherwise it'd have to glance off his
That's
freaking
why when he
skull.
talks, I'm 50 Cent. Like, that's why he has that tiny list. I'm not doing it justice because it's not that bad, but that's why he has that funny voice.
Yeah.
But I also think
now I walk with a limp.
But I think the person who shot him probably had some bad aim. Pull your elbow down a little bit. It's coming up. But I think the person who did it had some bad aim because they
No, they're touching my mic, bro.
because they I don't think they hit him in a vital area.
Most people, like,
I think it was like shoulder, elbow, knee, cheek, ear.
most people that legally buy guns, I'm not saying all of them, but in my experience, a lot of them, I feel like with my dad raised me of how to like deal with guns, like how to be like, that stuff. I'm not going to go into it, but the story you're talking about when we were in the car the other day, like my dad taught me not to use your gun for stupid shit.
Right.
And I feel like a lot of people that buy guns and are around guns a lot, they have that mutual respect for the weapon, and they're like, you know what, this is not a toy, I'm not going to screw with it. I think people that get them illegally, like I can imagine the person did that shot him, because it was on stage, wasn't it?
No.
It wasn't on stage.
It was
Well, either way, the guy that shot him, it was most likely an illegal, purchase or whatever. He got the gun illegally, and he did not have. So, like, dude also probably didn't take it to the range and learn how to shoot it. And that's what I was gonna say is I feel like a lot of people that have weapons like that get more lucky when they kill people than they do. Because think about what's his name, the dude from Atlanta, our friend from Xbox. Yeah, he got popped. Thank God it was a 22 because he would have got messed up. It was a 45. And in my eyes, if I'm thinking of a weapon I'm gonna try to shoot someone with. Not a 22 unless I'm going to be right next to him.
Oh, no, take that back. He got shot twice. It was one like the dude aimed, I guess.
He was still able to run.
I assume he got
while getting popped.
He got hit in the back of the
Yeah,
he got hit in the back of the ass, and then he got
and
hit.
that it's a 22. It's like the size of a BB.
Yeah, well, he got hit in the back of the ass, and then he got hit midway. I thought he said he got hit like a few inches above his knee, and they said it was close to hitting something that was important, that would have fucked nerves up or something down there, or hit an artery or some shit. But he said he didn't know until they got in the car.
And that would be from the adrenaline.
They got in the car, and they were driving away. And then they get out, and the dude who was sitting back in the back with him was like, "What the dude? You spilled something back here." And you know I didn't. And there's just blood leaking out the back of his leg.
That's what you told me. He said, he was like, "Bro, you're leaking."
Yeah.
I was like, what a good way to say that.
Yeah, bro, you leaking, bro.
But yeah, 22s are really small, but they are flying faster than BBs, like air compressed BBs. So that's why they're able to like penetrate, stuff like that. And they will mess you up. That's why I said unless you're up close, because up close, you stick one in someone's stomach, that bullet's bouncing around inside them. It's gonna tear up a lot of stuff.
It's one of those bullets that like will fucking hit a rib and end up in your hip.
But yeah,
fucking it just.
Yeah, a lot of people. I don't know this for sure, but from the way people have talked about 22s, I imagine that a lot of those get lodged in your body, which is actually a bad thing too. Because like a 45 or like a 9mm has a pretty good penetration because it's it's flying faster. So you don't want the bullet to stay in you. You want it through.
Have you seen that? Have you seen that Netflix documentary about the dogfight? About the dude, he came from the same town that Kimbo Slice did, same area.
They do like the backyard fighting.
Yeah, it's like dog fight, something like that.
But I think I know what you're talking about.
I don't know if you've seen it or not, but there's a guy in there that's like he's throughout the documentary. People liked him. They were like, he was back in the day. He fought Kimbo Slice. He fought this other dude, and he didn't win. But he's like the next step under them. Like he's not a dude to fuck with. He's getting older, but man, back in his prime, he could throw hands. So. And they're talking about him, and I guess he was dating some girl, and everybody was saying, man, if he would just get away from that girl, he wouldn't have any problems. His problem was the girl. And towards the end of the show, I might not be doing this justice, but I could be getting the story wrong, but towards the end of the show, I guess the boyfriend of his sister the brother of his girlfriend or something came over and they got into it, and the guy pulls out a .22 pistol. And I'm pretty sure they got in a scuffle, and the guy who was like known for being able to fight, I think he won. And as he was walking away, the dude shot him twice in the back of the head. It was a .22, and he lived, but he suffered. It fucked up his spine and shit. He couldn't move the rest of his body barely. He like didn't have much control of the rest of his body. Suffered. Couldn't eat. Like his body wouldn't digest shit right. Like it fucked him up bad. Didn't kill him, but he was done for, and he ended up dying. Yeah, he ended up passing away, but he fought for life for a while. And
Fuck, that sucks, dude.
Yeah, R.I.P. But that's the danger of having such a small round.
Well, yes. Yeah, to me,
I don't think,
with my mentality, I'd rather die.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, but I don't think if you shoot
a 45, your head's popping like
that's what I was gonna say. Your neck is fucking blowing apart if you shoot him with a 45.
That's intense.
But we can end this one on death. I don't want to run as long as we did yesterday. I want to have get some good time in. Yeah, we did run as long, but I think we started later, a little bit later.
Probably about a little over an hour.
Okay. Well, I think this was a good one. So
it was a good one.
So, but we'll be back. We'll be back in your ear tomorrow morning.
That's right. Follow us. My Instagram is blackassblade. That's my handle. His is outrageous. What do you do? Underscore.
It's outrageous. I'll post a picture on Instagram here in a few hours or so, and I'll tag two of us. One of us will eventually have an Instagram, I hope, but I'll tag both of us, and you guys can follow us if you want to, and keep up with stuff that's going on outside of the podcast. But we'll see you guys tomorrow morning.